Alright, as it turns out, I'm not going to go to Sector V. I am going to just tidy up and finish these two Pokey Oaks missions I have. Probably stumbled upon those words many times in my life. So I was also digging around the other night, and there's a handful of things that you can redeem through codes through the in-game chat here. Now, when the official game was online, I believe you had to enter the codes. Goodness. I cannot recall for the life of me where you had to enter the codes beforehand. I know, like, the prevalent things were like some of the Ben 10 bobbleheads and Hollow Suit. No, you didn't have to redeem a code for it, but some other like mostly accessories to begin with. You could redeem a code for, and I think eventually, if you bought the like the physical edition of the game, which might have been only available at like Target and Best Buy and Walmart. I say that as those are not like 85% of where people get physical games, but I believe that had like the manual in it. And a code for like 2 different armor sets, which I think they just eventually, near the end of the game, they were like, yeah, you can use a code to just redeem those. I wish I kept a lot of my physical media, but I was younger and didn't care much about organization, and my brother, who tossed everything like not in discs, any PS2 games I had, any GameCube games I had, he kind of just tossed them anywhere, did not help. So a lot of my physical collection from PS2 and the Wii era backwards, it's kind of lost to time, and that is regretful. But hey, emulation on the Steam Deck is possible. I do it a little bit, and gonna experiment with it more in the future.
Bring it on! Somebody call for a secret weapon. I got a message for you.
Alright, should I go the infected zone? I don't recall. Let me see here. Yeah, I'll redeem these codes soon. Gosh.
Let's do this!
I know there's a lot of dead air here, but once I start recording audio with when I record the game footage at the same time, it'll liven up a bit. I know I'm beating a dead horse when I say that. So I'm looking here, I'm looking if there's vehicles I can have yet. I'm a fan of pink clothes, in real life and in games. Okay. First time entering an infected zone, I believe. This might have been one of the only infected zones I actually made an effort to actually race around and put some times on the leaderboard. I know.
Think you're ready for this? I'm out of here.
Interested in running a race?
I opened this up and I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't know if I had more interest in it, or later on down the line I could figure out what's the problem with the races and what the development team has said on that. By the way, shout out to the development team who is keeping, this game alive, brought it back for, almost a new generation to actually play and experience it, and, for adding, like, content and fixing more things from the original game as well. Yeah. Huge thanks to them. I think that is really awesome that they're like devoting this stuff, and they're acting also as like community managers all the time in the Discord. As I said before when I was talking about racing and stuff, I really never made that much of an impact on racing. Not that I really tried that much, but when I played this game, I played it on like, what was it, like a Windows XP, really not much of a graphics card. I had a lot of stuttering, I had a lot of pop-ins. Oh, here's a scamper that was in Sector V.
All aboard!
But I think that was a majority of why I never tried those races. Coincidentally, I think my lag, because of my desktop, actually contributed to me, like, I don't know what happened server side, but I feel like sometimes my lag and doing like teleport, like jumping glitch with buddies, like was to my advantage in terms of getting to the unknown and getting out of bounds for the map area. But yeah, I know his videos are probably, his or her videos, or they and theirs videos are probably still on YouTube.
Got an appetite for a mission?
I think they were called Zippy something. I don't think it was Zippy Long Shoes or something. I know it was Zippy something. They would frequently be on the top of the leaderboard for racing. For now, I'm in the cul-de-sac. I can recall now that Dracula, oh yes, he was at the birthday event. And Mungdal, I think this was something that was added either in FusionFall Legacy, FusionFall Retro, or the FusionFall Retribution team might have done it themselves. I go to Chowder to find, oh yep, he has a scavenge ability, I want him next. I go in here, Schnitzel, he might have been at the birthday event, he might not have had audio then. Do not recall that area.
I've maybe got a mission or two.
I go back in thinking to myself, oh, I wonder if these are like just transports to like Mount Blackhead or like the city station. Nope, they're all part of the mission. And I see, oh, Mr. Tooth up there, so I'm gonna bounce over there and see what he has.
Catch you later.
Okay. The Kimchi Cloud, I think, was one of the first vehicles that they added into the game. They might have been added in a second wave through an event, but I remember for a long period of time, I think the Schnitzel vehicle was the fastest at the time, and so many people used it. I need that mustache. And then, oh, okay, I suddenly remember the Eggers. So, back, before they added Eggers, so essentially you buy accessories through the Eggers, and, most of the time their rarity is sorted by what tier of egg you buy, but you know, you're not guaranteed an ultra rare item. I say that as I get an ultra rare items. Butterfly wings, angel wings were like my most used like accessory instead of like capes or backpacks or anything. So yeah, there used to be a vendor that sold accessories, mostly like common, uncommon accessories, if I recall. But you know, because you had to grind for some accessories, I don't know like what changed entirely or what exactly the reasoning was. You know, they explained this in a forum post that, you know, probably have to go to like a web archive for. But I think it was, you know, I wish I had so much more answers as I play this game and as I do commentary, but you know, you had to grind for accessories and whatnot, and I believe they added pretty much every accessory to the Egger. So, you know, love it or hate it, that's what people had to do now for accessories.
You think you're ready for this? You think you're ready for this?
Want a mission? Whatever. You want a mission?
As someone who, you know, had a lot of money back in the old game when Eggers were around, it was fun to just see what you could get and what items you might have possibly missed in terms when you were grinding. Alright. This is my first... Let me see. Okay, this will be my first time using the Flying Mojo Skyway monkeys. Yes, so these monkeys will take you from one section of the map to another section of the map. Their range is much more limited than the scampers that you previously saw there that will take you all around the entire playing map, but they have less options to choose from typically. One handy thing to do when you're waiting for the monkey to get you to your destination: chat with your buddies, organize your inventory, adjust any settings. I know when I played the game, like when you entered the new square of the map using the monkey, sometimes there was just like, sometimes 1 second of lag, 2 seconds of lag, 3 seconds of lag. And if it was like, oh, it's more than 10 seconds of lag, it's like, oh, please, game that is made with Unity, that is based in a browser, please do not crash. Please, this will be kind of a pain in the butt. When you crash down the monkeys, most of the time it pretty much put you like right where you desynced with the server. So sometimes, you know, that would be right on like the map, like where you would see the intersection of like Poke Oaks North and Sector V, or like, you know, the section of like Cul-de-sac and Candy Cove right there. You'd be right on the line there. So yeah, one of the downsides of having an old computer to work with, and also having the game, you know, be browser based. I know a lot of trouble with users and stuff when the game came out, and you know, the whole time the game was like officially alive was that you had to launch the game through an internet browser, and you know, it wasn't very reliable, very steady most of the time, or even all the time for some players, and that was, you know, kind of concerning. I think they did that because they might not have had the resources, or perhaps that they found that like it's better for parents and young children to open up and play the game right out of the browser than download like a third party something from a website and launch
I'm
that.
out of here. You think you're ready for this? You
I
think
don't
you're
know
ready
the
for
reason
this?
behind it. So a lot of the time in
Catch you later.
like the tech issue part of the official forums, when the devs like weren't responding, when the technical support didn't respond, like immediately, because why would they? Who they're not going to respond immediately. Sometimes it takes them a few hours, but like just the plethora or handful of people that are like, what browser are you using? What browser are you using? Are you using Internet Explorer? Please switch to Firefox, or like please like switch to Opera, but like do not use Internet Explorer for playing this game, because it is quite literally like the most frustrating experience in terms of lag and like both like in the game, both like through input lag, through stutters and everything. I know there are people like, oh, empty your like search history and your cookies before you like launch the game, and I still to this day I'm like, I don't think that made a difference, at least for me. I don't think that made a difference at all. But yeah, once I begin talking about something, like
You think you're ready
most
for
like
this?
it just comes
Bring it
back
on.
to me in a way of like the FusionFall racing, the technical issues, the whole browser based experience playing like this.
I'm
Yeah.
out of here. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Can't tell you how many times I've done this playing this game, accidentally try to go on the zip line and discover, oh, you can't go on the zip line. Oh, you keep clicking to go on the zip line. Are you trying to get to the jump pad? Are you trying to get to the jump pad and use zip line, and vice versa, and what forth and what not? This game has its moments of pure bliss and through the pure annoyance at times.
Somebody
Looking
call for a secret
looking forward to
weapon.
getting
You ready for
Fusion
this? I'm outta
Blossom,
here.
and then finally moving on to getting Fusion Chowder so I can get the scavenge ability.
Let's do this. Hey, it's Blossom.
Also, I don't know if there's supposed to be music in some of the fusion layers or not. That's the first time I think a monster has actually used its ability on me. Sometimes,
You ready for this? Somebody call.
powers similar to like nano powers, and that one had stun. There's a nano ability that reflects like that ability back onto the monster itself, but I really think it's too situational to really have equipped, because logically I think what they had in mind was that before a fusion layer, change your nanos. Before you go into an infected zone, change your nanos. When you switch into this kind of map, when you switch into this area, change your
I'll be
nanos.
back.
Which I feel like would make more sense if the powers were more compelling and more unique. But and I feel like it is a little weird that there's not like nano changing stations by every infected zone as well. I think that was kind of a weird design choice. So there's that ability I was talking about. Protects your group from your enemy special attacks. That's freedom. You know, very situational. I mean, antidote is right there too. Radar and antidote.
Bring it on. Bring
If
it
you
on.
have those
Catch you later.
equipped and you're just, if you have those, any nanos equipped with those powers, it's kind of like, well, what are we doing here? You
Somebody
know,
call for a secret weapon. Somebody
like
call for a
there
secret
was
weapon.
nothing better that we could have, that you
Catch you
were
later.
rocking with.
Hello, and prepare for transport.
Yep, I used to wear that guy a lot too. I think on my alternate I always
Catch you later.
had the butterfly wings or the little
You think you're ready for
blossom
this?
or the little bubbles plushie there. I pretty much exclusively wore that on my alternate, which instead of not amused was called very amused.
Hey, it's Blossom.
Then I keep cycling like through, you know, my 4th creative character slot in the game. But I think my 3rd one was like, it might have been not very amused, it might have been slightly amused. Just leveled up into level 6 there. So you see now that these, they're slightly higher level enemies, they're actually dropping
Think you're ready
weapon
for this?
boost and
Somebody call for a secret
potions.
weapon. Hey, it's Blossom. I'll be back.
Yep, 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 yep. Alright, I'm gonna go back to Genius Grove here quick to finish things up.
Catch you later. Bring it on. Bring it on.
You know, any people that are watching, feel free to leave any questions, any comments about any point in like FusionFall history. And I'll try to fill it in as best as I can. Gosh. Back when the game was online, I had a photo bucket account where I stored like all the photos, including like all the pictures I took from like out of the game's boundaries, which included like the like the testing zone where they had like unreleased things, unreleased NPCs, that sort of thing. Again, really should have preserved that, or at least migrated them to a different account, but alas, I was too late, and PhotoBucket, they're not around anymore, I believe.
I'm out of here.
You ready for a mission? That's the way we like it.
Okay, I remember this annoying mission, which is go talk to this person, this person, and this person.
I'll bet you need a mission. Well done.
Yes, sir.
You'll do. I'm here if you need me.
Looking at that NPC Professor Utonium, it makes me realize, what on earth did you look like in the cartoon? I cannot recall. Alright, I think I'm gonna leave this off for now, pick it back up in the next video. And again, please feel free to leave a comment and question about any time in FusionFall history, and I'll talk about it some more. But for now, good night, and I'll see you soon. See you soon. All right.